URC regular season is now done and dusted, so we're just going to go through the results from the weekend, have a look at the table, and then have a look at how that leaves us for the quarterfinals. So on Friday, Stormers 38, Benetton 22. Fairly comfortable for the Stormers. They got their bonus point win and gave themselves, the best chance possible to get that second place if Ulster slipped up. Unfortunately for them, though, Ulster won 28-14 against Edinburgh. It was, at times a little bit sticky for Ulster, especially when Edinburgh went ahead. But, the boot of John Cooney really helped them out. He had a great game at 9 for them. Next, then, into the Saturday games, Lions 50, Zebre 35. So, Lions signing off with a win. They got, 8 tries in all. Zebre hitting back with 5 of their own as well. Kind of did their usual thing of, being competitive and then not being able to deliver a result. Lions just too good for them in the end, especially in that second half when they pulled away. Next one then was Bulls 62, Leinster 7. So Leinster's unbeaten run goes in very spectacular fashion. Bulls, playing obviously not Leinster's first team, but still very impressive victory for them. And Leinster really getting a taste of what they've done to other teams down the years. Bulls as well, it's going to be a shot in the arm for them going into that quarter-final. It looked like at one stage their form was so bad that they might actually even miss out on the playoffs. So to end in that fashion for the regular season, it's great for them. They, doubles from Aronson, Groveler, and Moody for them as well. Houston as well, a decent performance from him from the tee. Leinster, it's obviously not the team who are going to be playing for the rest of the season. Now we're into knockouts and the Champions Cup, but still the same thing happened to them last year. Not a huge defeat, but still, they didn't, they sent younger team down to South Africa and then things didn't work out for them in the knockout stages. So let's see if they have a different results this year. Then Dragons 31, Scarlets 14. So Scarlets had an outside chance of winning the Welsh Shield. This was at the Principality Stadium, so that was before then Ospreys Cardiff was titled Judgment Day. From what I heard that some of the fans not too happy with the whole atmosphere, because you had fans of some teams not paying attention to particular games and stuff like that. But Scarlets really not ending the season all that well. They didn't start the season all that well either, but they were on pretty good form. They're still in the Challenge Cup as well. So if they win that, they could still qualify for the Champions Cup next year. But in this one, Dragons get the bonus point. A couple of early tries as well for them. They have 3 tries in 15 minutes actually, and Scarlets never really got back that close to them in the game, and then Dragons put a bit of gloss on the score with a last minute try as well. Next one then was Sharks 22, Munster 22. So Sharks were 22-3 up at one point. Really good first half from them, but then Munster come back in the second half. They get the draw and almost pinch it at the end as well, held up over the line with the clock in the red. The Bulls Leinster and Sharks Munster matches, I've got full reviews of those on the channel if you want to go check them out. Then Ospreys 21, Cardiff 38. So again, Ospreys had a chance possible chance to pip Cardiff to the to that Heineken Cup spot, or Champions Cup spot, should I say. I don't think it's going to be Heineken Cup next year, but just couldn't do it. Cardiff, couple of tries from Young, and then decent from Priestland as well from the boot, but Ospreys really didn't fire a shot until the second half, and Cardiff already had 3 tries by then. So although they did get 3 themselves, really again it's one of these ones where Cardiff were pretty comfortable for most of the game. Then final game then was probably the best game of the weekend. Glasgow 29, Connacht 27, 2 teams in really good form. Glasgow unbeaten at home all season, and started off with a try in the first minute. Then they get a second one by 16 minutes. Connacht do hit back with a try from Prendergast, and came very close towards the end. 5 minutes to go, they get a try to make it a 2-point game, and then they're going for the win, but can't quite get there. But really, really good performance from both teams. Glasgow, another team who could win the Challenge Cup as well. They've already qualified for the Champions Cup, so they're not chasing a spot in that, but still they want to do well in that. They want to do well in the knockout stages of the URC as well. I think Glasgow probably feeling like it's about time that they delivered some silverware. Okay, let's take a quick look at the table. So first are Leinster with 79 points. They've got that 1 defeat on their record now. Second, Ulster with 68. Stormers third with 68 as well, but they lose out on points difference. Fourth, Glasgow 63 points. Fifth, Munster 55. Sixth, the Bulls 53. Seventh, Connacht 50. 8th, Sharks 48. 9th, the Lions 45. 10th, Cardiff 44. 11th, Benetton 41. 12th, Edinburgh 38. 13th, Ospreys 35. 14th, Scarlets 34. 15th, Dragons 25. And 16th, Zebre 11. So first to 8th, they qualify for the knockout stages of the URC, the playoffs. And at the moment, first to 5th qualify for the Champions Cup for next season. And Cardiff, so they're the teams that are guaranteed to be in the competition next year. The first 5 there by merit of their position in the league, and Cardiff by merit for winning the Welsh Shield. This will be the last season that the winner of a Shield will get automatic qualification for the Champions Cup as well. Bulls and Connacht at present look like they're going to qualify for the Champions Cup. There are a couple of caveats to that. The first is if the Sharks win the URC, they would then qualify and they would take the place of the lowest current qualifier, which would be Connacht. The other one then is if either Benetton or the Scarlets win the Challenge Cup, they qualify for the Champions Cup, and again they take the spot of the lowest ranked qualifier who's not a Shield winner. So that again would be Connacht. And then if both of those things were to happen, then both the Bulls and Connacht would lose out, and the Sharks and one of Benetton and Ospreys would qualify for the Champions Cup instead. So there's probably going to be a lot of Bulls fans and Connacht fans cheering for Leinster in the quarterfinals, and also for Glasgow and Toulon in the Challenge Cup. If Glasgow win the Challenge Cup, they've already qualified for the Champions Cup for next season, so that wouldn't affect the qualification of either the Bulls or Connacht. Now, let's have a look at the quarterfinal lineups. So, first off, we have Glasgow versus Munster. So, fourth versus fifth. Glasgow did a number on Munster at Thomond Park not too long ago, and that's going to be in Munster's memory. Glasgow again haven't lost at home so far this season. It's a big ask for Munster to go there, but we've seen that this team, they're coming together and they have some grit in them as well. The way they came back against the Sharks really does speak to their ability to kind of stay in games. Next then we have the All-South African Derby. It's Stormers versus Bulls. Stormers defending champions, Bulls last year's runner-up, so this is a repeat of the final from last year. Stormers will definitely be favourites for this one by virtue of the fact that they're at home, but also because Bulls, other than that win against Leinster, have been in pretty poor form recently. Next then we have an all-Irish derby, which is Ulster versus Connacht. So Ulster doing really well, like after that period around Christmas time into the new year where they couldn't buy a win for love nor money, working their way back up to second place and just pipping the Stormers there. But Connacht put in a hell of a run themselves, one of the four teams in the league, and I don't think they'll have any fear going to the Kingspan and trying to get a result there. I think that one is going to be pretty close. Then the final of the quarterfinals is Leinster versus Sharks. So Leinster, just that one defeat against the Bulls last time out, it probably won't affect the players because none of them were in South Africa that are probably going to play in this one. Sharks, a tall order for them to turn Leinster over at the Aviva Stadium, but Bulls are able to do it last year in it was the quarterfinals, right? Or semi-finals. It was one of those anyway. But Bulls did it last year, and Sharks would be looking to keep that kind of hoodoo for Leinster against South African teams and knockout rugby going there as well. So that's the end of this one. Once we get to the, what date is it? But yes, the 6th of May. So once we get kind of to that week, so it's basically next week, I guess. I will do like previews of all of the games, etc. We'll probably have like a preview for the round itself, and then previews for each of the games as well, as we're kind of getting into the sharp end of the season. We have Champions Cup Rugby this weekend as well, so going to be previews for those. We'll have match reviews. Also, I'm going to do, if I can, I'm going to do some watch-alongs as well, not showing the games, just kind of chatting while I watch the game, if anybody is interested in that. We also have Women's Six Nations on this weekend too, the final round. We got the Grand Slam decider between England and France. That's going to be a cracker of a game as well. So I'll be covering all of those games too. So plenty more rugby coming for you guys. I would ask that, if you wouldn't mind maybe sharing and, liking, commenting, and maybe even subscribing to the channel if you like the content. But yeah, that's it for me. Lots more to come.